Hello friends, welcome to Akulmach Live. My name is Chandrakant. Today there is a fantastic news. As of last night, the Ingenuity helicopter took off for 30 seconds on the surface of Mars, flew around a couple of feet and then landed after 30 seconds. It's a great engineering feat. It's for the first time after 100 years, mankind has flown a man-made flying object on a different planet. So that is why we want to discuss this today. Before we start our discussion, a word on our giveaway. We have some unique Akulmach memorabilia which will make you look outstanding. The graphics on these corporate gifts are based on the global best business practices. To become recipient of one of these gifts for free, you have to watch this video till the end and provide your valuable comments. Or you can also share your experiences. The person who makes the best comment would be chosen to become a recipient of this beautiful Akulmach gift, absolutely free, delivered to your doorsteps. The winner would also get a chance to be invited live as a distinguished panelist during our next video. What are you waiting for, friends? Please subscribe Akulmach and smash that like button. Now let's get back to our discussion. Friends, let me introduce our guest today. His name is Mr. Neville Gaunt. He joins us from UK. He is also the chairman of Mindfit Limited. And today we will discuss about the greatest feat. That means the mankind has flown another aircraft on a different planet. It's a Wright brother moment once again. So without further ado, let me invite my guest today.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, CK. Yes, what a feat of engineering. Millions of miles away in a planet we've never walked on before. And all of a sudden, we've got, as you quite rightly say, it's a Wright Brothers moment. And the irony is, it's just a little helicopter that's taken off, gone a few hundred feet in the air, flown around for a couple of minutes, taken a few pictures, and landed safely. But what a feat of engineering, all done remotely from millions and millions of miles away. I mean, it's unbelievable. And we should be excited. You know, it's not like a little drone taking off in your backyard and going up and smashing into the window because you couldn't control it. This is miles away. So, what does it mean to you, CK?
Well, Neville, one thing is for sure is that I tried to tune in into NASA live feed because it was coming live on the internet on the NASA live feed, and things were moving very slowly. So I want to tell the viewers that what was really going on and why the NASA live feed is showing you things which happened like very far miles, thousands, millions of miles away, and what really happened. So there are two things which are very important. One is when the signal from Ingenuity craft comes to Earth, it requires a lot of process, and there are very, very powerful antennas spread across the Earth which are capturing those signals. So even a 30-second flight, the processing of data has taken 4 hours. So the NASA live feed, why it looks like that people are sitting and nothing is happening. It actually, the fact is that a lot of things are happening, and the data which is flowing from the aircraft and finally it is reaching Earth is taking 4 hours. So it takes a lot of time to process. So that is one thing I want to say. What is your opinion on this, Neville?
Well, I'm a bit of a techie, really, when it comes to all this, and I love playing with a drone. I've got my own drone. As a boy, I used to play with trains and Skeletrics and watch them go round and round and round and round. You know, never got bored with it because you never know, it might fall off. You know, you'd have to put it back on again. Um, but this is an amazing feat of engineering. This is humankind at its best. We are miles away. We're not literally operating it from where we are. This is all pre-programmed. It's all very clever stuff. It shows our technical capability. It shows that humans are incredibly ingenious in what they're doing and what they're designing. And one of the feats here is a lot of people don't appreciate the technology that's gone into this particular machine. So there's one thing having a rover on a number of wheels go over terrain, and there's another thing actually taking off a flight, taking off on gravity system that's not normal to the UK, to the globe. You know, we have got our gravity here. You know, thanks to Newton, we measured it 9.8 meters per second is the pull of gravity. There, it's a lot thinner air. So these rotors have not only got to rotate much faster to get the lift, but they're also rotating in the opposite way, which is why they had a test the other day of testing the rotors on the ground. So making sure one spin the way it was supposed to spin and the other one was spinning the way it was supposed to spin too. And they're doing alternates. So it's a bit like do you know the little thing about patting your head and moving your hand? And if you can do that, that's what these rotors are doing. They're going in opposite directions. And that, to me, that is the real feat of engineering here. It's making sure that everything works in sync. And we've seen some amazing pictures from a few hundred feet up in the air. You know, we've seen the shadow of this little flying machine. And no wonder. I mean, did you see the pictures of the NASA engineers when it actually took off, when they saw it take off for the first time? They were absolutely elated. This is the ultimate in some of their careers. You know, some of them will be retiring in 2 or 3 years' time, and that's it. They've now achieved, you know, their lifetime's ambition, only paving the way for other people to take it to the next step. For SpaceX, you know, to take over and start colonizing Mars. I mean, we're seeing real amazing innovation in mankind. And by the way, we need to tell the viewers that this ship took off. This spaceship took off, not yesterday, not last week, but months ago. So it's not today's engineering that we're dealing with. It's engineering that actually is probably 5 years old. Because by the time they've manufactured it and they put it into design and got the specifications right, and let's face it, they couldn't test it here really because we didn't have the same atmosphere. So all of these things, will it work, won't it work? All this anticipation, all this risk, all these human emotions that they're going through, it's no wonder that some of them were jumping for joy. I wish I could have been there with them because to feel that excitement as an engineer, it must have been absolutely amazing, stupendous. Can't think of the words, really. There isn't a word to explain it. They've reached new heights.
Well, Neville, in fact, I want to tell the viewers about something which they have not heard so far. And one of the difference between taking a flight on Earth and taking a flight on Mars is the atmosphere of Earth. Because whenever there is a thick air on Earth, which will assist you to take a flight, and as you rightly said, that the rotors of this Ingenuity helicopters are moving 5 times the speed of any helicopter on Earth. So, a typical helicopter takes about 300 revolutions for the rotor to make lift on Earth. Now, this helicopter on Mars requires 2,500 revolutions per per minute, and that is why they are moving at very high speed. And this is really an experiment. And now, what people don't know yet is that there is lot of dust on Mars, and because of this dust being available, unlike Earth, because there is going to be rain and it will wash away the dust, and usually the air on Earth is clean, but on Mars there is always a lot of dust. Even though the gravity is low and the atmosphere is 99% thinner than Earth, but still it has a lot of dust. And you know what happens when there is dust? there is going to be static electricity. So this is an experiment, as I said. As it actually ages or it takes into multiple flights in future, then the rotor and the helicopter body will generate static current because of the dust particle, minute dust particles, which its rotor start rubbing into, and over time the static current will start building up into the outer surface of the helicopter. And it will be very interesting to see, what happens, whether it's going to discharge or whether it's going to attract more dust, rendering the whole device not useful very soon, and it will not be able to live its own life, what has been planned for it. um, but I think it's very interesting because this static current will start building over the rotors, over the body, and then it may discharge. If it discharge, it will be a catastrophic explosion. So I think that is something which people are not aware, and I thought I will bring this fact upfront.
No, it's a really important fact. I mean, there are two problems with dust. One of which you mentioned is generating static electricity. And the other one, of course, is it clogs up engines. So there needs to be a filtration system to make sure that it doesn't actually get into the engine. And it's not, I think we need to make sure that people understand this is not a typical combustion engine that we're talking about up there. This is an electric engine, which is even more of a feat of engineering, to create an electric engine that actually delivers the power to weight ratio so that we can actually get lift. I did read somewhere that they will be manually discharging, and I think that's why some of the early flights are going to be quite short, and they'll be almost going back to the rover and plugging itself back in and manually discharging, and maybe even utilizing that electricity back into the battery power of the rover. I mean, who knows? But these guys are clearly, these guys are at the top of their game. I mean, they really are pushing boundaries. Let's just recap here. This is a completely different planet. This is not, a mocked up space facility in the middle of the Nevada desert. This is a long way away. It's Mars, and to get something there, everything seems to have gone to plan, which has to be a first, which can only set us in good stead for moving forward. I mean, like anything else, as we've seen, space travel is not without risk. Going down in a submarine deep in the water is not without risk. So let's hope that these engineers are mitigating a lot of that risk so that they're making spaceflight, maybe not for the likes of myself, part way through his 70th decade. And so we'll see. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'd love to go to Mars, wouldn't you?
Well, Neville, I would love to go to Europa, and I know for sure that Mars is just an experiment, and the next NASA mission to Europa is actually going to fly. It's not going to be a rover, so it's going to fly with four drone type engines, which will fly off to another mountain, cross another valley on Europa, where the air is thicker, atmosphere is much thicker. So I think the learning on the Mars, because of this Ingenuity helicopter, will help us refine our designs for Europa, which is going to be in 2030. So I think this is a stepping stone, as you rightly said. And if that mission is successful, I will definitely like to buy a ticket, if possible, to Europa.
Well, let's hope we win the lottery.
Absolutely, Neville. I think this is something very exciting, and as we all know, that it is like taking a flight on a different planet for the first time for modern humans. So it's very exciting. It's a stepping stone. Thank you so much for coming live with us today. We will catch up again tomorrow on something more interesting.
My pleasure. You're not going to get much more interesting than this, as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely amazing news. Good luck, everybody. Just log into NASA. Just go online, Google it, and you'll see what we're talking about. This is Phenomenal stuff. See what the human race is capable of. Have a great day.
Have a great day, Neville. See you tomorrow.